everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jess and today's video is going to be the start of a brand new weekly reading vlog. This week's theme is going to be a random colour generator chooses my read. I saw Ashlyn on YouTube do this recently when she was trying to choose her reads, and I had a list of video ideas and I let my partner choose, and he chose to do the random knit wheel. However, he wanted to do summer colours, so I had him highlight what summer colours are. So on our wheel we have peach, red, purple, pink, blue, gold, green, yellow, orange, teal / turquoise, and that is everything. We'll spin the wheel in a second to choose what our first read will be, but I thought I would first start off by telling you guys what I'm currently reading. So I'm hoping that something from this wheel will come up to help me. If not, I will still finish these books, to be honest, before I move on to the next. But I'm currently buddy reading Belladonna with one of my friends. She has just finished this book today, so I would ideally want to finish it today. But as you can see, it's kind of got like pink and purple on, so I can kind of get away with that if I got purple for sure. And then I'm also still 465 pages through Gleam by Raven Kennedy. So I don't know why, but I'm so nervous. Let's go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. I am of course going to take that as an opportunity to continue reading Belladonna because I do want to finish this so I can have a full-on conversation about it with my friend. Okay, sorry if you can hear the birds chirping. It's pretty much 9:45 in the evening and I have just finished Belladonna by Adelyne Grace, which I am really relieved to finish because my friend actually finished this today, earlier on this afternoon, and I have managed to finish it on the same day. I have so many thoughts and feelings on this book and I feel kind of conflicted because at the very beginning I loved the character of Death, and don't get me wrong, I still love Death's character in the end of this book. However, at the very beginning I felt so much chemistry. I feel I lost the chemistry partway through this book, but then everything I wanted to happen between them ended up happening, which is just bizarre to me. There were quite a few reveals that I was quite shocked about, but honestly everything kind of made sense. I quite enjoyed the ending because there's a character who we've heard about in the book but he doesn't actually like appear or make an appearance, but the fact that they make an appearance at the end of this book just made me laugh, and I do think I will read the next book in this series. I don't know if my friend would want to buddy read it with me again. I would definitely say I loved the gothic vibes in this book. This book was very much slower and more intentional than other books that I have read, but I really just enjoyed those gothic vibes, and I'm looking forward to seeing how our main characters' kind of powers develop over time. However, I am kind of frustrated about some of the other things because something happened between a specific person and they were like, oh, make sure this is the right choice, this is what you want, and then at the end that person is like, oh, you know, don't worry, I've realised that this is gonna be this, so actually I want you to do this and then you'll have me forever. And I just think, I don't know, I think it just frustrated me a little bit because it's like, but they've already made that, our female main character has made her decision and now you're devalidating her decision by trying to remove her decision-making skills from the situation, and it was just a bit annoying. I did enjoy this. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I don't think it really is gonna be higher than that. I've got my wheel back up and let's spin for the second time. Red. Interesting. Red. I honestly thought it was going to land on purple again, and I was like, guys, I swear to you, I have not rigged the wheel to land on purple constantly. Red. Okay, I'm going to quickly have a browse of my TBR trolley, see if I can find anything that correlates to red. Okay, I lied just a touch. I am back. That was quite like an easy colour because I only actually have 3 books on my TBR that are red, but I can't read it because it is the second book and I haven't read Taming Six. No, I haven't read Saving Six, so I cannot read Redeeming Six by Chloe Walsh. And then that leaves 2 other books that I have on my physical TBR. One that is literally a TBR veteran that has been on here for the longest time, and that's The Chain by Adrian McKinty. And then the other one is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. which is the second in the A Good Girls Guide to Murder series by her. This is the collector's edition by Arctic Monkey, if you're curious. I think what I'm going to do is probably the more sensible choice. I'm going to pick up The Chain by Adrian McKenty. Because this is a TBR vet, and it's been on my TBR for literal years, like maybe like 5, 6, 7 years now. It's one of the older books, but I have never been able to unhaul it. And the thing is, if I give it a go and I dislike it, I can always DNF. And we'll just roll for another colour and choose another book. But if I never give it a go, I'm never going to know. So I think this is going to be the book that we choose, and I might even read the first couple of chapters tonight to get me into the story, so that tomorrow we can kind of breeze through it and we'll make a decision if I enjoy it or not. I got to page 50 of The Chain in bed this morning before I came down to make my breakfast, which is why you can hear the air fryer going off. Yeah, I read to page 50. I'm not hating it, but I'm also not loving it so far. I really do feel as though there's more going on to this than what you think, but it's also just like they're known as The Chain, and there's an organisation that keeps the chain going, which I find really, really, really intriguing. And I guess that's the only part that I'm finding intriguing so far is the actual train. I'm not really too phased by the kidnapping or the mum that's trying to fulfill the ransom and the task of kidnapping another child, which isn't spoiler because it's on the back. I'm not really phased by any of that. The only thing that's really, and I think it's because the people who are doing this kidnapping, they're not people that want to be kidnappers. They aren't actually kidnappers. They are parents who love their children, who want to see their children come back. And the reason that they're kidnapping is literally just so they can have their child back. Hey guys, it is 11:15 in the morning now, and I want to give you guys an update because I'm on part 2 now, and it's titled The Monster in the Labyrinth. I have no idea what that actually relates to. I'm on page 233. I have read that in an hour and 15 minutes. I still am not really loving it. It's very, 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 very easy read though. You can read this really, really quickly, which I'm kind of almost thankful for, because I feel like if it was slower pace, I probably would have DNF'd it straight away. But because it's got quite fast pacing, it's quite pacing, it's quite easy to read this back to back, like you can just keep going. I feel as though the most intriguing part of the story is going to happen in the last 150-ish pages. So I am excited to get round to these last 150 pages because I feel like this is where I'm actually going to enjoy the story. I feel like this is all kind of like the setup, and there is intense things happening, but I don't think it's going to touch on how intense this part of the story gets, because clearly this story is not finished, although you would have thought it was finished at this point. I will also say that the kind of synopsis on the back kind of tells you the whole story, at least as far as I have got now, so up to page 233. The kind of whole story is pretty much what it says it is on the tin, and I think that's also one of the things for me. Like, I'm not someone who enjoys a synopsis that tells you the whole story, and this kind of does tell you the first 233 pages. Okay guys, it is 12 now. I just finished The Chain by Adrian McKenty, and I'm going to give it 2 stars. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and I'm not sure that I would necessarily recommend it. I think if I was recommending it to anyone, it would be a new to thriller kind of reader. It's not one that makes me like angry necessarily, or like super emotional about it not being great, but it also isn't one that I feel any positive emotions to either. Alas, enough talking about that book, because I honestly don't have much to say about it. I feel like I haven't given a 5-star in a very, very long time, guys. Oh my god, I fell asleep reading Haunting Adeline yesterday, which is probably really detrimental. If you know what that book is about, you're probably like, how have you fallen asleep? I don't know, I just was absolutely exhausted yesterday. Let's get back on to our wheel spinner. Oh my god, I love this app, it looks so pretty. And we're gonna spin for our next colour. Peach. Oh no. I know I don't have a lot of options for the colour peach. We are just going to have to accept that this is pretty much our only peach option. I'm gonna say this is peach, right? Is this more peach than this? I don't know. This looks more peach in person than it does on camera. On camera, it's looking like really pink, like deep, but I say this is more peach than this book. Remember, I didn't choose the colours on this wheel. My partner did. He wanted it to be a summery colour. And it looks like we're going with Where the Crawdads Sing by Delilah Owens. I am extremely nervous about this pick. One of my friends actually brought this for me for my birthday, and she loved this book. When we first actually started talking as friends, we met at like a workplace, and she was reading this and she loved it, and she also said the film was quite good. So I do have like more media that I could read from it afterwards, that I could watch from it afterwards or be part of afterwards. However, you guys know this is not my particular genre and I don't read a lot of it, but to be fair, these kind of, you know, we've had a TBR vet and now we're having one that's relatively old. Hey guys, good afternoon. I just finished Where the Crawdads Sing by Delilah Owens, and I honestly don't know how I feel. I have just sat and read this pretty much all in one morning. Yesterday night I got to page 50 and I wasn't really vibing it. I was kind of bored, but then I have just read the next 300 pages in one sitting. I don't know, this is just a very different read. I feel like I've been saying this a lot recently when I've been reading different books than what I would normally gravitate towards, but this book again was very different in tone, but not in like a bad way. I think I enjoyed it. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm not sure because I did enjoy it, but like I didn't love it. I'm not obsessed with it. And then like when I think of other books that I've given 3 stars to, I have loved them. Like I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with them. And I feel like I'm going to give this 3 stars because I don't think it deserves 2.5 stars. I didn't love it. It was definitely different. It read more kind of like literary fiction-ish, with a bit of crime in it, but I did really enjoy it, and I really liked the setting of the marsh. I will say, when I started reading this last night, the first part was the prologue, and we flip between timelines here, but it starts in 1969 and it basically says, "Marsh is not swamp. Marsh is a space of light where grass grows in water and water flows into the sky. Slow moving creeks wander, carrying the orb of the sun with them to the sea, and long-legged birds lift with unexpected grace, as though not built to fly, against the roar of 1,000 snow geese. Then, within the marsh, here and there, true swamp crawls into low-lying bogs, hidden in clammy forests. Swamp water is still and dark, having swallowed the light in its muddy throat. Even night crawlers are dural in this lair. There are sounds, of course, but compared to the marsh, the swamp is quiet because of decomposition in cellular work. Life decays and reeks and returns to the rotted duff, a poignant wallow of death begetting life." And I won't lie, as almost beautifully lyrical as that is, I did kind of read it and I was like, oh god, if this book is written like that, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. I really struggle because although I enjoy lyrical writing, I don't like it in all instances, and I really have to be in the mood for it. And I was honestly scared to pick this book up, and I have actually read 2 completely different books on Kindle Unlimited since spinning this colour. But yeah, I'm really glad to finish this. It's been on my TBR for long, and I can finally message my friend who brought this for me about my thoughts and opinions on the book, and also we can do a little Netflix watch along. This book, you start off following the marsh girl, or Kaya, and she basically has lived in the marsh her whole life, and you kind of go through her life in the flashbacks of her working forward to the years where a handsome man called Chase Andrews is found dead. And basically all of the locals in the town immediately suspect her, but they've kind of been targeting her and almost really mean to her entire life, including the rest of her family. And you kind of see how they've been very prejudiced against her and her family her whole life, the whole time she's been growing up, and they've seen her as weird, as not normal, and all of these really honestly hurtful things. And how that kind of impacted her view of people and life and how she becomes so independent in herself but makes a living out of it. I have got up our random wheel and we're gonna just go for it. I'm so nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Ooh. Pink. Okay. Pink. I thought it was going to land on blue, so I feel really disorientated because I got really excited about blue. So I've got quite a few blue covers. That would be really nice. Okay, pink, 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 pink. Let me have a dig through and see which books we have. Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher could be a good option. We could go for Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This is older on my TBR now. Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. And I just don't think that Tessa Bailey is an author for me anymore. This is one of her newer books, I believe, from maybe last year. Yeah, 2023. So this would be kind of like almost my last chance for her, I guess, because I've stopped purchasing her books. I always see them in the works, but I have read 3 series by her, and the 2 series I haven't really enjoyed, but It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker I did like. Like I loved those 2, but I have not really enjoyed the others by her, and I find her writing a bit predictable. But I think I'm going to choose this because, like I said, it's on the bottom. It's one that I would never choose for myself, although I am choosing it now. I am 145 pages through since Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, and I'm on chapter 10. And so far, I'm actually enjoying it. I know, I'm happy to say I'm enjoying it. So I'm very excited to see how my feelings go. We're basically following a woman who owns, I guess you could call it like a gardening. She owns a gardening, she is a gardener. For her local town, and in this town there is a wine place that's been there for a very, very long time called Uncorked, I'm not sure, that she used to hang out with all the time with her grandmother, and her grandma has recently died, and she's kind of dealing with like how chaotic she feels after her grandma's death, when her basically teenage crush comes back into town, and he's taking a break from all of his other work to write a book. But this break came after someone in his life had a massive mental breakdown, and they had similar working hours to him, so they worked just as hard as him because he's kind of like a workaholic, and it made him want to take a step back from that life. And in his step back, because he can't sit still, basically his idea of stepping back is to write a book. Hey guys, it is the same day. It is 20 minutes to midnight, but I just finished Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I feel really bad because prior to starting this book I was like, I don't know if Tessa Bailey's for me. I don't know if this is gonna be for me. This is like her last chance book for me. But I actually really enjoyed this book. This book was great. I read it in one sitting. It was a nice, easy read. There was some dark, like heavier topics spoken about and dealt with in the story, but I really enjoyed my time in this book, and I think that this is part of a series, if I'm right, and I would definitely be interested in continuing the series, which has completely shocked me, but this is exactly why you shouldn't leave things on your TBR that you're not sure about. I didn't like how much of a big deal one element seemed to be in the third act conflict, but I still really enjoyed it. I feel as though I'm going to give it 3.5 or 4 stars. I did really enjoy this book, and I'm happy that I gave it a chance. Like I said, it's older on my TBR now, but I'm really happy that I gave it its chance. So yeah, go. Purple. Okay, sorry for the horrific lighting. I've just gone through my shelves, and for now we're going to choose Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. If you don't know, this one is about 2 rivals, and what I believe is that they both write for a local press, and it's kind of like the time of war, and the female main character's brother has gone to fight in this war, and she tries to send in letters, but she doesn't know her address, but she puts the letters in a wardrobe, and this wardrobe is magically sending them to someone else. Little does she know that she is sending these letters to her rival, who is also gunning for a higher position in the, what would you call it, in the for the place that they work. So I believe that there's like letters between the two of them. I believe that it's kind of like rivals to lovers, but I also believe that in like the notes they're almost like friends and they get along and they admire each other quite a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much all I know, and that's what I know from just listening to other people talk about this book, because I know so many people that I watch love this book and this duology. I started Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross and I have almost cried already. There's just some beautiful quotes in here about the feeling of loss. I just read it, so just give me a second. Sometimes I'm afraid to love other people. Everyone I care about eventually leaves me, whether it's death or war, or simply because they don't want me. They go places I can't find, places I can't reach, and I'm not afraid to be alone. But I'm tired of being the one left behind. I'm tired of having to rearrange my life after people within it depart, as if I'm a puzzle and I'm now missing pieces, and I will never feel that pure sense of comfort again. And she goes on in the letter, but I don't want to spoil anything, but she goes on in the letter to speak about the grief of losing someone, and it just felt really, really, really relatable to me in a very like charming way. I feel as though there's not really a lot of focus on the fantastical elements in this story. There's definitely more of a focus on our main female character's life, and we do have a bit of perspective flipping because we have been in Rowan's perspective. I am enjoying it quite thoroughly, and I'm having a great time, and I can definitely see this progressing in a way that I end up really enjoying. I really love how our characters are quite attentive. What I don't like is I think a lot of people have advertised this or displayed this as an enemies to lovers, but it's definitely more like rivals to lovers, and it's not necessarily that they have a dedicated reason to dislike each other. It's just that they're going for the same job. So don't look at it thinking that it's definitely an enemies to lovers. Hello everybody, this is not a position I thought I would find you in my car because my car needs some repairs done, but I need to just run to Sainsbury's before we leave because we've got to grab some things for our plants to keep them self-sustaining. I haven't actually shown you guys our plants, but we're growing cucumbers, strawberries and tomatoes alongside some sunflowers currently. I got to page 175 last night of Divine Rivals and I am absolutely loving it. I'm really enjoying it. Divine Rivals I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's very different, it's a lot slower paced than I thought, and there's a lot less focus on the fantasy and more her day-to-day life, which isn't really involving the fantasy side of things. But I've heard that the second book, because this is only a duology, has a lot more of the fantasy side of things in it. Hey guys, it is editing Jess here. I forgot to do an outro or even update you on my thoughts and opinions on Divine Rivals. I thought I gave you guys an update when I was at my partner's parents' house, but apparently not, or if I did, the clip is just not on any of my save files. I find it extremely funny because I said not that long before that I have not had a 5-star read in a very long time, and this book, I don't think I captured just how gut-wrenchingly emotionally connected to this book I felt, and I still feel. I loved this book. I am extremely obsessed with it. I think I told you guys, like, I was highlighting, I don't highlight my books very often, but I was highlighting quotes, and I just really loved this book. And like I said, I haven't had a 5-star read in a long time, and I kind of was feeling a bit like, oh, everything that I read is good. Like, it's nothing I've read has been like atrocious. They've been really good. They've been 4 stars, like 3 to 4 stars averagely. They've been really great, but I've just been like, oh, you know, like craving that 5-star book feeling, and this just gave it to me so well. And with that, that is the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new at it. I'd like to see more videos from me, and I'll catch you guys all in my next one. Bye.